What is going on, everyone? Deejus here. Today, I'm bringing you all a nice replay commentary between two top-level Fog players. So, I know it's been a little while since I did a replay commentary. I did a few Let's Plays and stuff, but it's time to go back to our roots. So, this match is between a guy named Kantbei, E-I-O, Potato Patuto, Kantbei, and I've played him so many times. He's a pretty damn good Fog player. He also played in the Mangs and Mai's Grandmasters tournament. In the first round, he lost to Raka, who's, an incredibly strong player. Kantbei, he's better in Fog than he is in Standard, in my humble opinion. And he's a great player. And then we have Izanagi007. So, Izanagi, I've seen his Standard matches. He pulled up a few good upsets in this tournament I saw, and he's kind of a crazy player, so I kind of like him. He's a little unorthodox. He's actually beaten me in Fog before. I will say, he beat me in Fog in one of the worst games I've ever played in my entire Advanced Wars by Web career. I think it's deleted off the surface of the internet. I played terribly. There's nothing escaping. I think 800 could have beat me. Not to knock off Izanagi, he's a strong player. But anyway, I have played him before. Good player, strong Standard player as well. Both of these guys, they do Standard and they do Fog, so they're pretty versatile players. So anyway, this map right here is called Splintered. It entered the map pool, I'd say, 1 to 2 months ago, so it's relatively new. I like it because it's pretty simple. It's basically 1 base versus 2 base, and mirrored on the other side over there. It has a semi-weak center. There's a few properties right here. And then there's the comm towers, which are kind of within striking distance of the 2 base to 1 base side. I will say this map is sort of a noob trap. A lot of players on their 2 base side, they kind of go all in for the comm tower, preventing it, etc., going crazy. And then they kind of forego the middle a bit, or maybe the other side, and maybe they get 1, maybe they get 2 controls of the comm towers. But that's not the end of the world. People kind of put too much stock into comm towers. I might put a little screenshot of a game I had, a few clips of that. I didn't have the comm tower for, 15 plus turns, but I had 6 to 7 property advantage. Comm towers don't matter that much where you give up everything to stop your opponent from getting it. So just keep in mind. Also, this is another noob trap. You don't want to overextend on the 2 base side because you can plop arties over here if you're defensive. You can really quickly reinforce. So overextending is quite easy in this map. I've seen it happen a lot. I typically don't like to cross the river. I typically like to control all of this and then push towards the HQ. If you keep pushing in over here, you're probably going to lose unless you have a massive income advantage. I had that in one game before, and I was just dominating, rolling, so I crossed the bridge. But typically in this map, you don't want to cross this bridge over here because it's way too easy to reinforce. In fact, I would argue even a square or 2 above that, I wouldn't go too far there. Preventing the center properties is also a nice thing. So if you're blue, for example, you want to control this and maybe prevent the opponent from getting this property over here. Also, the properties next to the HQ are not necessarily safe, the ones in the front over here. So these 4 in here, they can be pretty pivotal. Sometimes I like to let the opponent not let me get the comm tower over there, and then I could take control of these 4 properties, and that's pretty much good game from there, barring you don't shit the bed after that. So I like this map. It's pretty standard. If you follow those rules, you'll pretty much win. I think I've played on this map 4 times, all 4 wins. Basically, it's pretty straightforward. So you want to push with your 2 side, and then, like I said, do a little L shape. Push down here, then slowly push to the HQ. You don't want to overextend it. Also, if you do want to push over here, get the comm tower on the offensive, I typically don't try to grab it early. I wait till there's artillery backup. I wait till there's tank backup. Because if you just put an infantry there, it's going to die to all these units over here. So that's basically the lowdown on Splinter. Regarding COs for this map, as you can see, Kantbei chose Jess. I am a Jess, not hater, I'm a tolerator, alright? Jess is a little bit of a strange CO to pick most of the time. I think that she's outclassed by Jake and Adder 99.9% of the time. Maybe there's 1 or 2 maps in the map pool ever that I've seen where Jess is more viable. But if you get superpower of Jake and superpower of Jess, they're the same power if Jake's fighting on planes. And then he also gets the artillery boost. The movement boost is also great. And he also gets the boost to his air units in terms of firepower. Not in terms of movement, but the B-copters, etc. get the 40% boost from the planes bonus, which is huge. I like Jake here as well because you can plop an artillery and get an extended range on the defensive. I like to hunker down with some artilleries and defend my thing over there. Or even on the offensive, if you put an artillery here or something, that comm tower is going to be yours. So I like Jake a lot here. Better than Adder. Jess maybe better than Adder on this map. Maybe, but probably not. Nah, she's not. But interesting pick, and I'm excited to see how Jess fares on this map. Because Kantbei's been on a Jess streak a little bit recently. So let's see how it pays off for him. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into the match itself. And we're off. Alright, so we got the standard infantry builds. So if you might have noticed, there's this base up here. And some people ask, when should I cap the base versus when should I cap properties if the base is really far away? And I would say 99% of the time, you want to cap the base, even if it takes you 2, 3, even 4 days to go walk your infantry over to the base. I'd capture the base because it's not always about income, it's about how many units you have. How many units is much better than how much cash in the units you have. If you have 3 Neo tanks versus 20 normal tanks, I'll take the 20 normal tanks every day of the week. So in this instance, they're doing the correct thing. Just something I hear a lot in like the Advanced Wars by Web general chat Discord. So these guys have pretty strong start so far. Although Kantbei goes for an early recon, a day 3 recon, which is a little bonkers. I usually wait till day 4 because this also hinders your capping ability. If you get an infantry here, you'd be able to cap this property, maybe even this one over here, and start capping over here. So a little early for my liking, but then again, if it does work, then it will justify itself. But a day 3 recon is super aggressive. Not something I usually do. I'm a little more patient. See, Izanagi does the standard. Probably will go for a recon next turn, or maybe another full infantry and then a tank. I believe that when I played this map, I did another full infantry, and I think I did a day 5 tank or recon. I just pumped out as many infantry as possible so I could maximize my gains early, get some nice income advantage. So let's see how this recon does. So I like the positioning of the recon. It gets vision on all of these contested properties over here. Although Izanagi is nowhere near to even capping them yet, hence why I would advise getting the recon 1 day later, because not even in any position to cap these. However, it might be able to get hit out if Izanagi wanders into its vision while trying to cap. Let's see how Kantbei's development in infantry is different from Izanagi's over here. Let's see how it works out for him. Going back to infantry, see, there was no tank follow-up. You can't get another recon here, so that's kind of why I'm not a huge early recon fan. Although this infantry does walk into the recon range, and it is too early to get a tank, so sensing this weakness, I believe that Kantbei spots it and is like, not afraid of a tank at all. Just boom, get a nice 8 damage off, completely neuter this offensive, or not offensive, but this capturing phase. So I kind of like that. This recon's a little late, and by a little late, I mean, I would have gone like in between when each of them made a recon, made it a turn in between. But I think this one can still do some work and get vision on. It takes 1 turn to get vision on the tower and this property over here, which are pretty contested. I also like this capture chain over here. That's why I also go for the base as soon as possible. Capture this, nice chain. You also want to capture these two, because then capture here, capture here, capture here. That's also a beautiful chain. Some nice chains over there. So we got a tank over here. See, I like the recon pressure because it kind of forced a tank for Izanagi on his weak side. Usually I like to go tanks, recons on my strong side and push. But having this recon here by Kantbei is pretty smart, actually. A little early, but still pretty smart, because it forces Izanagi to invest a 7k into a tank on his weak side. Therefore, kind of slowing down his push on the strong side over here, and allowing Kantbei some leg room to go capture these contested properties. So we're moving on over here. In vision of the recon, but there's tank backup, so that recon will not get a free hit off, like the other recon did. Kantbei is aware of all this, has nice overlap, units are all covered. A little bit slow over on development over here. Izanagi is already on this base looking to cap this property or this property. Kantbei is nowhere near that due to the recon, but it is what it is. Went for this one. I agree here. I think that's a good one. You can go at the center one later with this one over here on the mountain. Don't worry about this one. It'll be captured by that one, infantry over there. I agree pretty much wholeheartedly with how things develop so far, other than the weird recon. Goes for the hit here, but it's a little late. Like I was saying earlier, it's a little late for that recon. It kind of missed the sweet spot, so it's going to get hit by a tank, but it probably will survive since no one has a tower yet. So let's look here. Normal capture phase. Tank gets a nice hit. It gets down to 1, and here's something that I would differ from. Okay. Never mind. Kantbei did exactly what I was hoping you would do. You want to go kill the recon rather than go for the cap. You're going to have all these infantry over here. A 1 HP recon is sometimes the death of a player in a match. Those things just don't die. They give great vision. You hide them in a forest, they can live 10 more turns at 1 HP, 2 HP, etc. They can take a tank hit like a champ. So I kind of like this recon. Even though it was late or whatever, it still interrupted this cap. It forced out a tank hit, and now it can go hide for however long it wants to. And, it did its job. That's kind of like why I like recons. I think recons are one of the more underrated units in Fog and in Standard. So I like how that lived. And if you have this infantry, I'd go for the luck roll every day of the week to kill that recon. I wouldn't go for the capture. So I agree with Kantbei's move right there. Now we got normal capture chain. Yeah, blue's you can't overextend. This goes without saying, but for some of y'all, even if you have you're feeling good on the side, you don't want to overextend for, say, the 2 base side. This tank's got to retreat, get some artillery back up, get some tank back up, etc. Kantbei also has an artillery over here, which I like, an offensive artillery. Probably going to shift it down over here, put some pressure here on the middle, maybe even on the comm tower. I typically would put the tank here and the artillery here, so the artillery gets to the front lines faster since it's slower and only has 5 move. But, just nitpicking right there. But I like that development. And it seems that Kantbei, or Izanagi, kind of smartly shifted the tank over there. The recon saw it over here, and I bet Kantbei still thinks it's over here lurking. But Izanagi did a nice front shift, an early front shift. It's only turn 8, already thinking. So Izanagi, like I said, a little unorthodox, but knows what he's doing. I like this move. Soon they're going to have 3 tanks pushing on this weak side over here for Kantbei and strong side for Izanagi. I like that. Just the subtle things like that. So this recon just finishes off that weakened unit. And it got some intel from the mountain. And as you see here, you kill the unit that has the vision first, then you move your tanks, then you move your other units. You want to eliminate enemy vision first. I see some beginner players make this mistake. You move all your units, then you kill the unit with vision. No. You want to make sure your enemy doesn't know anything. Like, Izanagi doesn't know this tank, so you're over here. Due to that unit order. No units at all over here. Not even capping this property over here by Izanagi. That's a little strange. I wasn't paying too much attention over here with the capping chain, but I would have captured this at least 2 turns before. The comm tower or whatever, take your time, but this property over here probably should have been capped a little while ago. So Kantbei is going for the comm tower. Due to this recon living, it has vision of this comm tower over here, and there is a primed Jake unit with planes bonus ready to attack this infantry if need be. And also another one over here that's capping a lab, so it's basically not doing anything. Smartly, Kantbei retreats the tank. You don't want to get overextend and get too cocky right there. Yep, there we go. And he's probably going to follow up. But he doesn't have a comm tower, so there will not be a 2-hit KO, so it goes for another hit on this other infantry over here. So both of them are kind of going aggressive on the sides. No one's even near the middle properties yet. Kantbei sort of is. But now Izanagi's bringing in the flood of tanks. The anti-air, I love that. Good play, good play. And the correct one too, because it'll get right there in 1 turn, and suddenly everything's defended from any copter shenanigans. Both players are playing pretty damn good so far. I only have minor nitpicks, but both are playing very well. Now, let's see how Kantbei uses that artillery. Gets a free, I don't know, free hit. He doesn't really know if there's a tank over here or not. But the follow-up here and allowing to have this artillery there, that's why you build artillery. Look at that coverage. It looks like a free hit. You get a hit off on the tank on a city. But in reality, it's going to get hit by a nice, juicy artillery hit. See, Kantbei, this looks like an attempting thing to do right here. Attack this tank, but I bet it would be reinforced by a copter or some other sort of thing. Okay, so Kantbei builds an anti-air a little later than... it's fine. It's turn 9. I'm not going to nitpick on that. I think that's fine. So this tank gets a free hit off on this over here. Here's a move I do not agree with. Letting a hit for this tank over here, or anything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, sometimes you need to count the squares from the opposing base to know when you don't want to overextend. Izanagi here, look, on the bridge. Overextending. This is like on the tippy tip of overextending. Now you are officially overextending. allowing a hit from God knows what units in here. Could have been a medium tank, could have been whatever, you don't know. You don't want to overextend. I would have used this tank to, I don't know, kill those units, finish them off, do what you need to do, but overextended. Did a good engagement over here, but sometimes you get a little too cocky. Maybe you should have used the recon to see what's in here, throw it over here, see what's on the base. If you see the tank, if you see an infantry, go for it. If you see a tank, then back off. But that recon is still alive 4 or 5 turns later, doing what it needs to do. So it's interesting, going all out on this little side over here. Has backup though, so good coverage by the anti-air covering the tank in case there's a copter, but there is no copter, just a tank for reinforcements. Great engagement for Kantbei, a 9-4 engagement for the tank. You love to see it if you're on the receiving end of only having to deal with 1 damage. Kantbei is doing more of a slower, methodical push over here, but also getting super aggressive with the capping of the opposing property in the middle instead of before he gets his own, which a little ambitious. I probably would not do that. I would go for my own first and then prevent the enemy from getting one before I just go for it, because the enemy is going to have numbers in the middle compared to you because you're over the middle line over here. I like this. So this is another thing about it. These forests over here give you nice control of these cities. So I think the city right here is eventually going to go in control of the 2 base side on either side because of this forest. Because you put an an artillery right there. Caught myself. Because once you have this forest over here, your artillery basically covers the entire city, and you just need to put a unit in between so it can't be stopped and also getting out of range of the artillery. So having an artillery here or there is incredibly useful. So I like that play. Izanagi is going for the late artillery. I think he saw the effectiveness of this one over here and decided to get his own. And now, like, you can interrupt this cap with his infantry, but it's going to die. Going for the double cap of that property and the comm tower. See, I like this. It's turn 10. You don't need to go for the comm tower cap on turn like 3 or 4 or whatever, early on in the game. You can take your time, wait till you have artillery backup. Now, Kantbei is going heavy defensive on this side over here because he sees all the forces by Izanagi. But Izanagi has a pretty well, formulated offensive army over here with the anti-air and a few tanks. So both of them are fighting. Now it looks like that comm tower is going down. So let's see what Izanagi does over here. It attacks with 1 infantry to a 1 infantry. I think that's kind of a waste. I probably would have retreated and heal it. See, this getting a little too adventurous over there with the center infantry trying to cap the opponent's property before your own. I don't like it. Izanagi sees how fruitless it'll be if he goes to try to stop this cap over there, so he wisely backs off. Knows that he's beaten there. Builds a medium tank. I agree with that. You're going to need a medium tank or some big beefy boys to stop this. Also defend the HQ if Kantbei does do the L-shaped sweep, as he should do. Also getting 2 infantry over here. Yeah, I guess because the medium tank is such a big investment. Both are also tied, it seems, on the income front, so they're both doing pretty decently. The only difference will be that Kantbei will have the comm tower earlier than Izanagi, it seems. Bringing up the anti over here out of range of this tank over here, so that will be useful. I like that, instead of getting too aggressive and showing his cards too early, showing his hand rather. And I like this. See, artillery does a great job. You can put it over here, even better. I probably would have put it here, although you wouldn't be able to cover it up. If that thing was not over there, captured there, it was a blocker here, surround the anti-air with this, you could do an HQ cap push pretty early. Recon gathering a lot of intel over there. I like what I'm seeing so far by Kantbei. Now going on a little bit of a push over here. Wisely not going across the river so far. I don't think he will. He needs to hold down there. See, it has coverage. So if Izanagi does attack, which he will have, if he does, he'll only get 1 shot off because his stupid infantry is in the way, first off. Second off, like, gonna have easy reinforcements by these 2 tanks here and the copter. Well, the copter doesn't cover this tank over there, but it will be there quite shortly. It will have coverage if he builds another copter the turn after. So now Izanagi gets his normal property that he should get. So that whole thing in Kantbei was a little vain. Oh, goodness. So he puts the anti-air ahead. Remember what we said about anti-air and attacking on the front lines, right? I don't like it. Oh, that's a little feisty. Now there's going to get some nice tank hits off. Kantbei is getting pretty close. You put the recon there first, I think. Put the recon up there, see what's going on, then you do the attack. But also, there's also the bit of a threat of this cap over here. Medium tank doesn't know what's going on, right in range of that artillery there. Ooh, you hate to see it. You hate to see it. Why not do that attack first, or get a recon or something over there? You don't want to attack with no vision. No follow-up to attack this artillery over there. So I don't really like that. But getting close to the superpower, while Kantbei is also getting pretty close. Both are going on the heavy offensive. Izanagi's going a little bit quicker. Going for this really feisty property right in front of the HQ over here. Kind of like, seems like the tortoise and the hare right now. Izanagi's the hare and Kantbei is the tortoise, going with a slow, methodical, kind of with the artillery, while Izanagi's like, I'm going in, boys. So we'll see how that goes. Let's see Kantbei's reaction to this. So it looks like he's going to cap this. We got some mirrors going on, capping these properties in front of the HQ. So both HQs are sort of in danger, it seems. So the artillery goes for this hit over here. I guess I probably would have gone for the vision and got a hit off on this medium tank. Maybe forgot to check the replay. I don't know. Also, ooh, yeah, let's get this hit on this copter over there. It's kind of brutal. Oh my god. And then you can't get a hit back off on the tank or on the anti-air because of this artillery right there. Oof, that's a good offensive right there. And we're going double artillery by Kantbei. So this is scary. This is looking scary for Izanagi. Interrupts the cap over there with the infantry. Gets some nice infantry hits off. Copter is over here, but the anti-air is lurking. And now, got to block it off over here because this anti-air will go kill this copter. So I'd put the tank over here. Try to form a little wall. Which is precisely... Although... Oofies. Oofies. Maybe you should have stayed on that city, bud. Although, super is coming. See, I wouldn't do that. Just let him have the cap. Like... It's going to be one comm tower versus one comm tower. That's just how it is. Like, whatever. You just lost an infantry. But now Izanagi's like, alright, I'm losing. Time to turn on the gas. One hits. That stupid little tanky. Boom, the copter dies. And then these infantry just start going ham with their plane bonuses. Like 9-3 engagements. Ooh, nice. Tank rolls over there, gets a, I don't know, it doesn't do jack over there, to be perfectly honest. See, if there's no, if you didn't sack the tank and stuff, you would be able to blast through the anti-air and have a follow-up attack on the artillery, but got a little too feisty with not enough units. You kind of want to hold back until you know what you're doing. Boom! Look at that. Didn't even take a little lick from the Kantbei infantry because it's a Jess infantry, which suck, which is why you don't choose Jess, which is why you choose Jake, or you choose Adder. Jess infantry suck. Mech here, I don't agree with that. I think you should go with the normal infantry, save up an extra 2k, maybe get a Neo tank, something nice next turn. Instead of, you don't have to always spend all of your funds. And you don't really get any bonuses. Maybe if you're an adder and you get the movement bonus, I'd go for that. But if you're just getting a mech as a Jake player, a little risky. All right, let's do a Kantbei. Okay, so that was a pretty nice offensive by Izanagi after a strong push by Kantbei. Did a lot of damage in terms of unit value. But now it's Kantbei's turn to pop that scop. And let's see. And by scop, I mean normal power. So interesting. I guess Jess does have some flexibility on the front, sort of like a mini Max, in that she can use her superpower or normal power adjusting as she sees fit. So gets a nice hit off on that artillery. Not really a nice hit, actually. Jess's normal power kind of sucks. The movement bonus is cool, though. Okay, getting that hit off, I guess. I don't know what that anti-air is doing. It's going all in, I guess. So this, okay, now I see. Going for the full HQ push with 2 artilleries pressuring that medium tank. And if that medium tank gets off, there's going to swarm. So luckily, Izanagi does have this artillery over here, but that is looking scary. Oh my god, 3 artilleries lined up in a row over here. Whew, that is a timer if I've ever seen one. You gotta win quick if you're Izanagi. Gets the comm tower over here, so Izanagi's like, alright, shit's about to hit the fan. I need to go in. Gets the hit off. Storms his own ball over here. Starts capping the HQ. Got some nice artillery backup over here. Only has 1 outlet for an attack over here. And there's this tank over there that might do something. Also a recon. So we got double HQ threats over here. Nice ball over here. Like what I'm seeing so far. Medium tank barreling in. Reveals, yeah, that's fine. Reveals the artillery with a hit off on that infantry over there. Medium tank stays on and attacks the infantry, just trying to buy time. Basically realizing, hey, like, that's a really bad engagement for this medium tank. It's probably going to die. However, I'm going for the HQ cap first. Unit values and whatever thrown out the window. I need to delay the cap on my own HQ. It is officially an HQ race at this point. And if you've seen my replays before, I have a soft spot for HQ battles. So now you know. So Kantbei actually is near the power over here, which might come into play. So maybe utilizing that power instead of a superpower may enable him to use the other power earlier and get some hits off. Gets a hit off on this infantry, does a pretty decent chunk of damage. Basically massacres that medium tank over there. Moves up the artillery even more, reveals the artillery here, but you can't get a hit off because of this river. Doesn't go for the attack on the infantry and finishing that off. Actually goes for the tank instead. Will that come back to bite Mr. Kantbei, though? We shall see. Kantbei, oh my, like you just... If you were Jake here, instead of Jess, oh my god, 3 artilleries ready to use that superpower or even the CO power with the extra range. That would be so nice, oh my god. But Izanagi's like, alright, I'm going to lose on this side, but whatevs. I'm going for the win. Just attacking infantry, got to weaken them up. Gets a recon just for vision and attacking. Now needs to really consolidate this HQ over here. Has a couple weakened tanks, though. Nothing really potent to stop the swarm of, what, 5 tanks and a copter. That's a lot of units. But if you have a nice ball, it might be effective. Gets a pretty good surround, leaving one gap open for that recon over there, since only a copter can go on this river over here, and it's not in range yet. So, looking pretty good. Almost there for a power. I almost would have gone for the power there for the extra defense. Because you get 10% extra defense, which is huge on a HQ, which means you have 50% defense on an HQ because you have 40 and then you have the extra 10. That can be a world of a difference. Now Kantbei uses the other power. So this may be where the using the normal power instead of the superpower might come into play. The artilleryers are going ham. They're going... They're going full Nell turkey over here. Not even shying back, just like, I'm going all in. What are you going to do? Then the tanks come rolling in. Boom. Boom. But will it bring it down? You need to bring it down to a 6. Boom. Gets a hit off in the artillery. That hurts. That was a good engagement by Kantbei. Doesn't go for the recon, because that would be a roll, actually. A roll to get to a 5 instead of a 6. Smartly uses the tank instead. Brings it down to 4. Still pretty damn close. Izanagi over here pops the power. I assume he wants the defense for this HQ cap over here. Also to get some extra hits off over here. And the range onto the other artillery if need be. Basically, whatever. I need to delay this HQ cap over here. Bring in the big, beefy medium tank as a blocker. That'd be some key stuff right there. Fully HP needs to be brought down to 2. Actually, 2 is not enough. Needs to be brought down to 1 or killed in order to survive. Kantbei needs to do. Boom. Medium tank in as a blocker. Good luck with that. Over here, blocking for the copter over here. Smart move. But this is a weak... Oh, there you go. Plugged her right up. A nice little recon there. Beep, beep. Get out of my way. Got this little opening over here. So is the gap right there. Boom. That is a nice looking thing. And you have to bring it down to 1 HP or dead. No more power for Kantbei. Power for Izanagi. Extra 10 defense. 50 defense on an HQ. That's pretty tough. But if that succeeds, on the other hand over here, we're going to have a nice defended infantry over here. See what Kantbei can do. Unleashes all the artillery. Oh, no, actually pulls back and is like, you know what? I need to coalesce a little bit. Doesn't even joint cap over here. Kind of realizes that Izanagi does have a lot of artillery in range that's probably fruitless. Now we must contend with this huge, massive units. Let's see what Kantbei does versus power. First kills this infantry over here, allowing for 2 hits for the recon and the tank. Allowing a lane into this HQ, very smart move. However, will a weak Jess Copter and a non-power Jess tank be enough to knock this infantry with 50 defense down to 1 HP or killed? That is the question. Copter comes in. 3 HP. That is a medium roll right there. I think the max it could do is 3, and the minimum it could roll is 3. I think it was only in the 3 range, because Jess Copters suck. This tank better hope it does 6 damage to this infantry. Ooh, 5 damage? Good game. No re. Because you're not killing this recon, and then killing this tank, and getting another hit on here. So it all comes down to that roll, and boom! 1 HP. Kantbei gets the roll. Brings in the Neo tank. Boom, boom, boom. Izanagi's not giving up, though. He says, hell no, I didn't go all this way, do all this shit, just to lose with 1 HP left on that HQ. I'm throwing everything I got. Boom, boom, capping, I don't even know. Just going all in. Doesn't even matter. Kantbei's like, I'm not having it. 3rd time I'm popping this Jess power this game. That infantry is getting annihilated. I don't even care what's going on over here. I'm moving my everything back. Boom, boom. This Neo tank is going to get a nasty hit off on that. Ouch. Not even worrying about the infantry over there. Just going for the tanks. Gets the hit off down to 4. Boom, boom. Secures the HQ. And Izanagi wisely resigns after that. Damn, that was close. Comes down to a tank roll against a Jake 50 defense. HQ capping infantry. My god, that was a close battle. I think he might have gone a little too early. I mean, it was the tortoise versus the hare, and the hare was Izanagi, and the tortoise was Kantbei, and I think the tortoise worked out better because there was more artillery support. There wasn't enough artillery support. There was great blocking, no doubt about that. But the artillery support really was the game changer over here. So that was a nuts game. Well played, Kantbei. Well played, Izanagi. I love HQ cap games, especially the races. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed yourself, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.